Hello everybody, I'm Hey What Rube, and this is a completely new Let's Play Game Through video series for me. So just as a little bit of a background here, I'm a landscape photographer, but unfortunately I've had my wanderings lately reduced by some injuries. So I'm trying to find a way to scratch that itch, as it were. And one of the things I did during all the COVID lockdowns is I bought a lovely little game called Eastshade, in which you just wander the world as laid out before you and paint it in game. Obviously, my art skills as a painter are minimal to none. And what I thought might be interesting is to play Eastshade as a photographer's perspective. It helps me to pretend I'm still out taking photographs, and then I wondered if maybe people would find that interesting. So what is about to follow will be approximately hour-long episodes of me just rambling on about art and photography. If that sounds like a good time to you, you have found the right place. Let's begin, shall we? So as you can see, I have played this before. I've played this a few times before, actually. It's probably my joint favourite game, and it's the only one so far that I've completed to 100%. But we're going to start up a new game, and I tend to have the same name and seller. If you know what the reference is, please post it in the comments. It's a lovely little game. It doesn't, if anyone who's played it knows, it doesn't really, nothing much really happens, but it's wonderful. It doesn't take too long. You always start here on this boat. You can't run in Eastshade, by the way. I'm holding the controller forward as much as possible, and this is as much as it goes. So the idea is you walk around, you see the little speech bubbles, and you press your X to interact.
Forgive an old woman, but I forgot your name. What was it again?
I'm Mansella.
Would you mind getting my book from the sleeping quarters? It would spare my bones the trip. It's called Great Voyages.
So we press the circle to see the journal. The old woman travelling with us asked me to fetch her book from the sleeping quarters. And this is quite a little indie game, so it has an edge of an unpolished edge to it, but I really love it. It's really very, very charming. Great Voyages. The seas of the north are widely unexplored. Researchers predict these waters are expansive, and small expeditions have revealed numerous islands filled with diverse life and communities. Due to the unpredictable and violent nature of these waters, many exploration ships have been lost while attempting to form new contacts and carry out scientific research. So it's actually there was a little mini prequel, I think, called Leaving Lindo, which I never played. But the suggestion is this woman is probably the main character of that.
Thank you very much. I've read this old book many times. Seems I find something new each read. And no matter how many times I've read it, it never fails to get me excited for adventure. Are you the adventuring type?
Yes, I am.
Ah, after my own heart. I've had a lifetime of it, believe it or not. If you're sticking around in Eastshade, maybe I'll tell you all about it sometime. Captain Ilona told me we'll be landing in Lindo shortly. I think we're all antsy to arrive.
So you've just learned a new topic. You can now inquire about this topic using the pick topic option when it's presented. Not everyone has something to say about every topics. And by the way, you'll never see her again in this game. So we can go and talk to this chap though.
I've never been to Eastshade. I've heard wonderful things about it. Did you know that the people there used to cover their mouths with garments? I've heard that's since gone out of style. Quite a strange fashion fad if you ask me. As long as Eastshade doesn't rock like this ship, I will love it.
Do you know much about Lindo?
It's the quaint little seaside town we'll be landing in. It's one of the many gems of the country, I hear.
Goodbye.
Almost there.
That seems like a very abrupt end to your conversation.
That did not sound good.
Oh no, we're drowning, except nothing bad ever happens in Eastshade, so it will be fine. By the way, the reference to garments covering mouths was not a COVID reference. The developers of the game couldn't work out how to animate mouths, so they figured it was easier if their characters just didn't have them. And then by the time they were developing Eastshade, they'd worked it out. Did I ever tell you about the trip your father and I took to Eastshade? Many times. Out of all the trips we took, that one was my favourite. You know, if you're ever looking for painting inspiration... I know, Mum. I've never figured out how you pronounce that word, by the way. Is it pronounced mob? Is it said mum? I'm English, so I would put that with a U and call it Mum. I know, Mum. Tell me you'll visit it one day. Promise you'll go. I promise. To think of you exploring Eastshade, it makes me so happy. I know you'll find inspiration there. What an adventure you'll have. Listen, there are some places you absolutely mustn't miss. Be sure to paint the giant tree. Ah, I remember it like it was yesterday. How will I know which tree? You won't miss it, trust me. And the Teefmore Bluffs? Ah, the lovely sky country. I can picture you there now, an easel set and you making a beautiful painting. Those open skies and endless seas would move any artist. Okay, I will. And the city, there's a magnificent building in the centre. From the very top floor you can see the whole town and more. You won't be able to resist taking out your brushes. Ah, soon. You'll be there soon. You should get some rest, Mum. We've had another thing added to our journal. So it kind of sets it up. You're here on your mother's last request. It sounds like on her deathbed she wanted you to go and see Eastshade, this place that she'd been so happy. Let's just
You Vulcan?
Oh yes, of course there's the man over here.
Do you remember what happened?
I was travelling on a ship and it collided with the reef.
I'm glad your memory's intact. You washed up on this beach just a short while after the ship sank. One doesn't last long in water this cold.
Did everybody else make it?
From what I've heard, you were the only passenger misplaced during the wreck. The others are safe in town.
Where are we?
Eastshade, of course. Specifically, my home. I usually don't take visitors, but in this case I can hardly blame you for floating in unannounced.
Did any of my possessions float in?
Only your easel. Don't forget to take it when you leave. Even the frigid tide couldn't bring you to part from it. It must mean a great deal to you.
I won't forget it.
I was about to head into town to share news of your survival. You should go there and let them know yourself. It's just up the path.
Thank you for helping me.
On your way, then. I was about to head into town to share news of your
He has
survival.
nothing more to
You
say.
should go there and let them know yourself. It's just up the path.
Thank you for helping me.
On your way, then.
And my easel is over there. So I don't know why it says open inventory, because you can't actually access your easel. You can go into this, which is paintings, but you have none. But I would like to have a little look at what my... So help an old woman finalises with, it was an easy task for an able body. And now we're on Mother's last wishes. Mother always wanted me to visit Eastshade. She wished me to paint 4 of her favourite places on the island. A giant tree, anywhere on the Teefmore Bluffs, the highest peak, and a view from the top of the common tower in the big city. And that's kind of the overriding aim of this game. To go and paint those things. That presumably is our shipwrecked ship. There's some nice birds flying around it. So you could actually play this game endlessly. As you'll discover as we progress through it, You need two things to make paintings. You need a canvas and you need inspiration. Well, you can get infinite canvases as long as you can get infinite money, and you can get infinite money, it's actually quite easy. And you can also get infinite inspiration by drinking lots of tea. So you could wander around and just paint everything. But for the purpose of me not making this hundreds of hours long, I'm only going to paint the things that you're asked to paint as part of your progression through the island and through the game. Oh, it's always so beautiful. You can also collect things. I am going to collect a few things. Like I say, I have played this before. I make no pretense that this is a blind playthrough. So I know what you do and don't need further down the line. You always need lots and lots of roots. Sticks are useful as well. And these things are called bloom sacks and they're also useful. I love how the music changes. Making paintings drains inspiration. Gain inspiration by exploring new places and trying new things, although as I said, you can just drink endless tea. It's fairly slow, but it works. The best way to play Eastshade is just to go around and talk to everybody.
Oh, it's you! You're on the ship. What happened to you?
I wash up in a beach cave.
Oh, thank goodness. We thought you were lost. Oh, what a horrible experience. I'm so glad to see you're safe. What brought you to Eastshade anyway?
I'm here to paint the landscape.
A traveling artist? That's wonderful. I came to visit my family. You look like you could use a nice cup of tea. This flavor is a bit strong for some people, but the effects can be lifted with a sip of water from your water skin.
Thanks.
Our captain is in a terrible state. I suppose that's to be expected. She won't even leave the dock. Perhaps it would console her to know that we all survived. You should speak with her.
Where are you staying?
My family lives here in Lindo, so I'll be staying with them. If you find that night is coming and you're in need of a place to stay, you should check the inn. You'll be comfortable there. It gets cold around here at night. You shouldn't be out without a proper coat.
Tell me more about Lindo.
After that wreck, I may just settle down here for a while. Are you wondering about anything else?
No, thank you. Take care of yourself.
I'm a bird!
The Sunflower Place, very lovely, very charming. Let's talk to this kid.
Aren't I good at flying?
You certainly are.
Thanks! My dad says that I can do anything as long as I put my mind to it!
Okay. So let me just go and have a look at the Lindo Brew. Imbued with the quaint dreamy glimmer of its seaside port town origin. So the other thing when you drink tea
Watch me soar like a bird!
is they kind of act like filters almost. It gives a kind of a style to your painting. I don't honestly use them an awful lot, but I like to try to. So let's go to the port.
Hey, are you an artist? Hey, you have an easel! Are you an artist?
Why, yes I am.
So am I! Do you want to see what I made?
Sure.
Look!
Wow, you worked really hard on this.
It took all day. But I want to make my next one even better. What should I do?
You'll want to start with a nice canvas.
But I don't know how to make a canvas.
Then let's make it all together.
All right! You're a nice artist after all.
We need to collect boards and fabric.
I know where some boards are. Follow me.
A young girl told me she knows where to find some boards. She can show me where they are.
Did you see when it ran a reef? I've never seen anything like that. Terrible waste of a good ship. But it went down so quickly.
Everybody's worried
It's
about the
amazing
ship.
anyone made it out of that.
You certainly won't see me boarding a ship anytime soon.
Now we just need the fabric. I don't know where to find that. Maybe we should ask someone.
Well, there's no point asking her if she doesn't know where to find it. And I was heading to the dock to comfort the captain. Maybe the captain knows where to find some fabric. That looks like the captain. Oh, there's some fabric.
So we have everything we need now, right? We can make a canvas from this stuff?
We actually could. How does one make a canvas? Ah yes, of course, you go into the inventory and open your crafting box. Okay, let's make a canvas.
Could you paint something? I want to watch a real artist.
I can do, but first of all I want to talk to this adult.
Oh, so you've survived too. That means only one of us has been lost at sea.
Who was lost?
Who? Only the most important one of us all, Annabelle!
Annabelle? I don't remember her on the passenger list.
Doesn't sound... I see. She carries you across the oceans and you don't even learn her name. Annabelle! My ship! My wooden, sea-loving daughter! Killed by the damn reefs when we came into this miserable town.
I'm very sorry about your ship.
Kind of you to say so. Kindness does nothing to bring sweet Annabelle back to me.
At least all the real people made it.
Off with you! Trade your life for hers.
Okay, bye. I don't think I am comforting you.
Now leave me be.
Right. Can't talk to him. You can't talk to everybody in Eastshade. I find that quite nice. Oh, but you can talk to him.
We've had quite a few shipwrecks here. There's a reef surrounding the bay, and that's what does it. It shouldn't slow down traffic too much, though. I'm just glad you all made it.
It was very lucky.
I work on the docks almost every day. If you ever have any questions about Lindau, come on over, and I'll do my best to help.
Oh, do you know where to get fabric?
Fabric? You go through loads of it. Here, these lengths are defective for shipping, but will perhaps serve your purposes.
And can you tell me a bit more about Lindau?
Lindau is a nice port town, although we don't have much to export anymore, aside from loom sacks. Now, most of our tourism these days are just people passing through, on the way in or on the way out of Nava.
Okay, thank you. So that's... It does literally tell you how to make a canvas. Let's make another one. I'm holding him up, let's move out of the way. Here. Oh. No, there's just sacks coming into view. some more boards there, and then you can talk to this. I find he's probably one of the most annoying characters in the game, by the way.
Watch your step there. Lots of moving boxes around here. You're looking a little waterlogged. Guessing you just came in off of that ship. I think you even got some seaweed hanging from your ear.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, we all have those days, right? I mean, my dad got in a shipwreck once. He wasn't as lucky as you, though.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, he's fine. Just lost his leg is all. Now he gets to order us around even more. So, you'll probably be exploring all over, right? Would you do me a huge favor?
Depends what it is.
My brother loves raspberry-filled pastries. Loves them. He can't get enough. But raspberries don't grow here. So he puts in an overseas order every 2 weeks. It's crazy, really. Now, the thing he hates is grape-filled pastries. I mean, we all hate them, obviously, but he hates them even more. He'd destroy them all if he could, you know? He once saw an old lady eating some, and he grabbed the box and threw it in the ocean. It was the craziest thing. Okay, so what I did was fill his raspberry pastry bag with, grape pastries. Can you imagine what he's gonna do when he eats one? He'll go insane! He's always suspicious of me doing something like this, though, so it would be perfect if you could play along and act like you're a, delivery person. So, what do you say? You deliver them to him?
I'm not really into pranks.
Really? Huh. Don't think of it as a prank. Think of it as a bonding experience between loving siblings.
Okay, fine.
Perfect. You gotta play the part, though. Really make them think they're raspberry pastries. This'll be great. Here, take these. My brother lives over in Nava, so I'll meet you there in a few days, eh? I'll probably be near the bakery. You just come find me, and I'll point my brother out to you.
Alright, see you soon. Once an old lady went up into a tall tower right on the coast. She stayed up there watching the ocean and eating snacks until it was past her bedtime. Then she wanted to go home to see her cat. She started to go downstairs, but she fell because she was so tired. Then she died. She turned into a ghost, and now she stays in the tower and haunts it. She turns on the lights whenever night comes so that her cat can find her, but the cat doesn't ever go because the tower is... And then it just cuts off. That's frustrating. Also, let's just check what our grape-filled pastry says. I met a fellow who asked me to help prank his brother with a box of grape-filled pastries. He'll meet up with me at the bakery in Nava. And I think I might make that my first painting. So when it says painting, you don't personally sit there and paint. You kind of line the scene up. And I quite like this entire scene. And there goes your painting. Yes, as you can see, it drains your inspiration.
That painting is amazing! I want to try. Can I have a canvas? We found enough stuff, right?
Sure, have a canvas.
Yes! I'm going to use this for Miss Nika's next painting. She loves art so much. Hey, Miss Nika loves art like us. She always likes my paintings. I bet she'd like yours too. She really likes the eclipse. You should draw her that.
Retrieve your easel, browse your painting. So, on another painting I'll show you. Let's click on the square. So here, oh no, I don't want to paint over it. I just want to show people that. So, kind of photography art principles in place here. You've got a nice bit of foreground interest. You've got the boxes there. The way the pavilion? Yeah, I suppose you'd call that a pavilion. The way the pavilion casts its shadow is almost pointing like an arrow towards your main point of focus, which is that tower and the cliff in the background. The tower being nice and light draws your eyes towards it. And everything is roughly, if you were to divide this into a grid of of 9 squares, you then got something called the rule of thirds, which is objects placed on the intersections on the grid of 9 squares will often attract the eye most. It's not a strict rule, none of these rules are. Some of those work much better when they don't follow any of them. But it's quite a nice, easy one to use. You've also got a little bit of negative space around the tower, highlighting it. So that's quite a good first example painting. Now let's go back. We've completed an artist in training. I showed the girl some things about painting and let her keep some of the materials we found together. Let's just carry on exploring Lindo. Those remind me of golf balls, the little buildings. I think they're very fun. Oh, I can't get out there. I can. Nothing in. You can't get injured in Eastshade. But it doesn't make sense to go down there. Can you still talk to her?
Thanks again for the canvas.
You're welcome. Take care. That's quite a nice view as well. Got the ship pointing ever towards the windmill. I've never really understood the cats. I love the cats. Oh, by the way, if at any point you hear a lot of clattering, it's my cats trying to convince the world that they don't know how to use the cat flap to get into the front room. Except they're suspiciously good at using the cat flap, getting in and out of the house itself. And even more incriminating for them, when I go to bed they're in the living room, and when I wake up they're in the dining room waiting for their breakfast, so they obviously figure it out at some point in the night. But still, if I'm awake they try to convince me that they don't. What I often paint, by the way, as my first painting, is this. I kind of use this bridge as this arch as a frame and paint these buildings, but I actually quite like my new one. I've already spoken to him. Let's start heading into the buildings of Lindo. I'm a polite visitor, I shut the doors behind me. This is the nice little inn. Yeah, I could settle here. Talk to the innkeeper.
You must be the traveller from the wrecked ship.
I guess I am. A cave dweller rescued me.
Oh, good. Ingolf needs some visitors every now and then. I wish he would spend more time in town, but he'd rather be alone.
Do you live in Lindo?
Yes, I run the inn. I always keep a full stock of soup and tea to refresh weary travelers. When I was young, I traveled all over this island. I'd love to adventure again one day.
Tell me more about Lindo.
It's a bit more calm than Nava. I think it's quite a nice place to relax.
Oh, we've picked up a new conversation, Nava. I keep hearing about Nava. Tell me about it.
I lived there for a few years, working as a baker. I do miss the bustle of the city sometimes.
And she has goods. We could buy them.
Certainly.
So we already know what Lindo brew is. Meadow spice me, sure to keep you warm on a cold, shady night. This brew is made with honey from the apiaries of Eastshade's remote west coast. But I have absolutely no money, so we're not going to buy anything. Now, it's just a little game thing. You can steal the candles. It does get you a trophy, but once I've done it, I don't like to steal them. I feel that's rude. Let me into your homes. I'm going to steal from you. Oh, this is another annoying character.
I feel so adventurous staying here in Lindo.
Where are you travelling from?
I live in Nava, but sometimes I just long for the primitive lifestyle Lindo offers.
Lindo seems quite well established to me.
How humorous you are! I like that in a person. Some may find the story of my journey utterly inspiring. Nothing could have prepared me for the muddy paths, the unbearable heat. I even had to eat outside. Overall, it was a dreadful experience, but I braved through it all.
That sounds awful. I barely survived a terrible shipwreck.
I'm guessing you're a bit inexperienced in travel safety. Perhaps you should consult me for advice before your next journey. I so dearly wish my friends could see how adventurous I've become.
So he's a little bit passive-aggressive there, because if you click back on him...
I do enjoy this exciting new lifestyle I've adopted. Did I ever tell you about my journey to Lindo?
I wouldn't really call it a journey.
True. Perhaps Epic Saga is a more fitting description. Say, you do some sort of art things, don't you? Do you think you could capture my sheer magnificence on canvas? I'm dying to show my friends what a remarkable traveler I've become.
I'm not sure anyone can manage to capture that magnificence.
What stunning taste you have. Be sure to capture every bit of my elegance.
A rather pompous fellow at the Lindo Indornook Inn asked me to paint his portrait. Now what I like to do here is kind of stick it to him a little bit and paint something that technically includes him but doesn't really include him. So, open doorways invite you into a scene. Let's try and get a bit of the background here as well. He's technically in that, I can see his head. Let's build a canvas. You can build it straight from this screen as well. I don't really want to get the kid running around in the background, so wait for him to leave and go. So this is what you're meant to do when the child doesn't interrupt you, is click on the canvas to put it back into your inventory, and then we can have a look at it. So it's like open doorways invite you into the scene. You've got the nice curve of the steps pulling you in there as well. And again, working by the principle, if we look at bright things, the inside of the inn looks nice and bright and warm there. We feel like we want to step into it and go in. Now it didn't update the quest, but I've never had this fail to work before.
Oh my, that painting. It's the most perfect thing I've ever seen. I simply must have it.
Okay.
This is wonderful. My friends will be so jealous of me. I think I'll start a collection of paintings just like this.
I quite like the idea that what he's going to show his friends is how lovely Lindo looks and how insignificant he is.
Can you imagine? An entire wall filled with paintings of me.
I'm glad you like it. I don't see why you do, though. The client was pleased with my work. After all, the painting was of his favourite subject. Considerate visitor, we shut the doors. Why is the child up there? This child's looking at him.
I know that I can do it if I put my mind to it!
Get down from there.
I can't fly if
Oh,
I
she
don't
said her
even
family
try.
was here. That's probably her nephew.
You're not a bird, Lenny. You need to come down right now. You're going to get hurt.
Everybody, turn around!
What? Why?
If you don't all turn right now, I'm gonna jump!
Okay, okay. Everyone turn around.
Turn around.
I don't know what you're trying to do, but it's time to come down now.
I flew! I can't believe it! I flew!
Of course you did. I'm just glad you're back down. Don't do that again, okay?
Okay, now that I know I can fly, I won't do it again.
That child is a liability. What is going on here?
Who's there? Nika? Is that you?
No.
You must be one of the tourists. Terrible about the sinking and all that. Glad you're okay. Yada yada, etc. But will you go get Nika, the innkeeper? I need help.
Why is there a jug on your head?
It's stuck, obviously. Now, would you be so kind as to go get Nika for me?
How did that even happen?
It happens. It's fairly normal, really. Doesn't it happen to you from time to time?
I'll go and get Nika for you.
Brilliant. I'll wait here.
Actually, first of all, what I might do is paint this. So I'm not much of a portrait painter. In fact, I generally have a saying that if things move, I'm not going to be painting them. So how to best light him for this? I quite like him as almost like a silhouette, so let's do that. Now we probably don't want the biggest canvas here. I wanted him before he leant forward though. I now have nearly no inspiration. So we have him almost silhouetted by the light from his fire, although I didn't include the firelight because I thought that would be distracting to the composition. And for anyone thinking that I've broken my rule of not painting things I've not been asked to, one of the problems with having played the game before is I know what paintings I'm going to be asked to make. That does actually meet one in the future, so we can keep a hold of it until then. Let me go and find Mika. Does he even care that his son jumped off of a building?
Ah, the travelling artist.
Esau needs your help.
Oh, of course he does. And what is it this time?
He has a jug stuck on his head.
Again?
Again?
That's like the 8th time. All right, then, we'd better go help.
I do love how it's just treated as something so normal in this town. Jugs routinely get stuck on heads, and that's absolutely fine.
Oh, it's really stuck, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty stuck.
I think what we need here is some soap. Would you be a dear and fetch some soap from Amin's house? It's just down the stairs and across the courtyard.
Oh, I never actually looked at stuck in a jug. His son appears to have a jug stuck on his head. He asked me to get Nika the innkeeper. Nika has asked me to fetch her soap from Amin's house. It's across the courtyard from Isan's house. She also said it's down the stairs though. I like how they have a ramp as well. They're clearly a very inclusionist society. Animals of all sorts live in peace and harmony. And Amin has a cat. I like to go and look at the cats. Which is kind of ironic because Amin is an owl.
Hello there. Can I help you, traveller?
Could I borrow some soap, please?
Soap? Well, certainly. May I ask why?
It's too weird for words.
You shouldn't use soap for that. It's not safe. Anyway, I'll ask
Wait,
no
is
more.
Is that a reference to what I think it is?
No need to return it.
I think it is.
Is he a friend of yours?
I'd hope so. Actually, I think he's an ass.
He's just such a peculiar man. And you know what? I think Lenny is going to have some real issues when he grows up.
Why's that?
Well, you've seen him. The boy is unhinged. And not just that. I've been hearing a lot of yelling coming from that house. I think it's quite a broken home. You know, I imagine you'll be traveling all around this island, being a tourist and all. Perhaps when you get to Nova, you should let the sheriff know about Isan. I think it's only right, you know, for Lenny.
Let the sheriff know that there's a dad encouraging his son he can do what he wants to do. I'll think about it.
I think it'd be best for the child. I only have his best interest at heart. Isan is not a stable man, and wholly unsuitable to be a parent. Here, this will help you with the toll. Right, well, here's some soap. Safe travels.
Unsuitable parents. Amin believes Isan is an unsuitable parent for Lenny. She feels I should report him to the authorities in Nava. I only ever did that to get the award for doing all of the quests, by the way. I don't really have any evidence then Isan is a bad father. Amin seems like a bit of a stuck-up owl to me. Let's return with the soap. I mean, that could have been quite good. They're shaking her head looking at him. No, I like the one I've already done.
You have the soap? Well, let's try this thing then. Here, let me have that soap.
Here you are.
Well, I guess it was convenient that you dropped in when you did. Thanks for getting Nika.
How did he fit his antlers in there? How did you get your head stuck?
Well, you are a nosy tourist, aren't you? Beeswax.
I'll let you be. Maybe he is a little bit unstable. But again, I've still got nothing to suggest he's a bad father, so we'll allow him to carry on as he wishes. Into Lenny's house with no clue better than Lenny. There's Lenny's aunt, I think. That's this building here. Can you sit on the chairs? No, you can't sit on the chairs. Is it just decorative? That's quite nice though, you get a nice view of the entire town. Oh, there's a little pavilion over there. We'll go over to that in a moment. I'm going to have a look in that building first though. That's the Lindo music. I do love the music of this game. Everywhere kind of has its own music.
Ah, a newcomer. In the future, if you're ever in need of carriage to Nava, I'm your driver.
Okay, thank you.
My ox is strong, no?
It's basically like a fast travel. I don't really use it. Part of the joy of this game is walking around exploring. Oh, she has cats. Again, why doesn't ox have cats? She's not an ox, though, she's a deer. Oh, but look, it's black. Black and orange. I've never personally had an all black cat. I've got black and white cats. I have had an orange one. And a tabby. But I've never had an entirely black cat. They actually find it harder to get homes because people think they're unlucky. But that seems odd to me. All cats are good. Let's go over to the little pavilion. This child does get in the way. It's nice and calm here. This is what I mean about you can't get injured. You can't walk off of it. Oh, there's like a lagoon there. That's pleasant. You also can't go in the water with Eastshade. Yeah, so it's too deep. They look out for their health and safety quite a lot here. Nice view of a little windmill. Oh, that's the innkeeper. That's Nika.
Great viewpoint, isn't it?
It's very lovely.
Look, the eclipse is starting.
They have a daily eclipse on Eastshade. And now we're seeing it once. This kind of sets the time cycle. If you don't come up here, it just stays daylight forever. We've now got a bit of a progression in the days.
Not a bad show, right?
We've gained some inspiration. It's been a while since I've really watched it.
I try to come up here every day. I guess it just doesn't get old for me. Anyway, if you haven't got lodging for the night, feel free to stay at the inn. I'll leave the upstairs room unlocked for you. Drop in at your leisure.
Thank you.
Don't worry about payment. Shipwreck survivors stay free of charge.
Even more, thank you.
Take care now.
So on Eastshade, you can't actually be out in the dark at night. It's not, otherwise you're not without provisions. Otherwise you're going to freeze. So in the early game, that means you don't get to see the night time. As the game progresses, there are ways around that. So we've pretty much explored Lindo for the time being. The next thing to do is to leave it. explore a bit more, but I think that path will await us on the next video. This seems like quite a nice place to end. So I shall close the episode here and hope to see you next time, folks.